13.1 exercise 6th question. Refer the table. This table in question number 14 it is given. Okay, in exercise 14 question number 6 I think this table question is given that you have to refer. Okay, for this question the table is given like marks. These are the class intervals. Okay, 0 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 and above. Okay, so these are the class intervals where the marks are written on the heading. Okay, and here the heading is number of students. So how many students got 0 to 20 marks? That is 7. Between 20 to 30 marks, how many students got? 10. Then between 30 to 40, how many students got? 10. Then 40 to 50, how many children got? That is 20. Then again 50 to 60, how many students are there? That is 20. Again 60 to 70, 15 students. And 70 above students, those who got 70 and above are 8. Okay, so these are the number of students. So now total number of students will be what? Addition of all these. So that is 90. Okay, got it. Now what is your question? Find the probability that a student obtained less than 20% in mathematics test. So these are the marks of mathematics 1. Okay, these marks and how many children got. So now less than 20%. Less than 20% means the top one you can see. Here it is between 0 to 20. That means less than 20 means that children will come in this range. So that is what? How many children got less than 20% marks? That is 7. Okay. So you can write here solution. Total number of students we know, that is what? Total number of students, you can see the table. How many are there? 90. So total number of students we can write 90. Then first question solution, that is total number of students getting less than 20% marks in mathematics. How many children got less than 20? That is 7, you can see here. Okay, this is 7. So here that is equals to 7. Okay, now probability of a student obtained less than 20 marks will be equals to P of E1. Suppose here I am showing E1 for the first condition of the probability. That is first one's question. Okay, that is E1. That means students those who obtained less than 20% mark can be shown with P of E1. Here P means probability, we all know. So therefore P of E1 equals to what? Number of students who secured less than 20% mark in maths test upon total number of students. So how many children got less than 20% marks? That is 7. So it will be P of E1 equals to 7. That is number of students who got less than 20 marks. Then above upon total number of students, how many are there? 90. So this is the probability of the first one. Okay, this is the answer for the first one. Now second question, what is that? Find the probability that a student obtained marks 60 or above. 60 or above. That is the last two cases you can see 60 and 70 also will come in that range and 70 above also will come. That means what? We will write number of students who obtained 60 or above. So in that case what will be the condition? That is number of students in 60 to 70 range. This also I have to take and this also I have to take. Clear? Because the question is 60 and above. Means 60 and 70 also will come and 70 and above also will come. Okay. So here we can write number of students in 60 to 70 class interval plus this one will be plus. So plus number of students in above 70 class interval. Above 70 means 8. So that is equals to 15. That is number of students got between 60 to 70 range plus 8. 8 is for above 70. Number of students those who got above 70. That is 8. So now when 15 and 8 is added, how much you will get? 23. Clear? So now probability of students obtained marks 60 or above can be shown as P of E2. Okay. Now therefore P of E2 equals to number of students obtained marks 60 or above upon total number of students. So now we have seen, we have added how many children got 60 and above, that is 23. So that is equals to P of E2 equals to 23 upon 90. So this will be the probability for the second question of question number 6. Okay. Question. To know the opinion of students about the subject statistics, a survey of 200 students was conducted. The data is recorded in the table. Opinion of the students and number of students. So here, like, how many children like statistics? 135. And how many children or students dislike statistics? That is 65. Okay. So now these are the data given to you. Now what is you have to find? That find the probability that a student chosen at random likes statistics and does not like statistics. So first likes one's probability will find, and then dislike probability will find. So simple. So total number of students equals to 200. We know it is given in the question, or when you add this, how much you will get? 200. So total number of students is 200. Okay. Now probability of a student likes statistics. Let it be P of E1. Okay. P of E1 means the probability of students, those who like statistics. Therefore, P of E1 equals to number of students like statistics upon total number of students. We know the formula of probability, that is number of trials in which event occurs upon total number of trials. Does it not? So same here, number of students, those who like statistics upon total number of students. Here how many children like statistics? Here from the table it is 135. So 135 upon total number of students are how many? 200. So 135 upon 200. You know that both the numbers are divisible by 5. So 5 2s are 10 and 5 7s are 35. So numerator is 27 and denominator 5 4s are 20 and then 0 40. So equals to 27 upon 40. You know that it is not further divisible. So this will be the answer for the first one. Now second one, what is that? Probability of a student does not like statistics. So let it be P of E2. P of E1, that is like statistics. Now P of E2 means probability of E2 means what? The students those who does not like statistics. So therefore P of E2 equals to number of students does not like statistics upon total number of students. So here in the table you can see how many children does not like statistics, that is 65. So 65 upon total number of students are 200. So 65 upon 200. We know again it is divisible by 5 table only. So 5 1s are 5 and 5 3s are 15. And denominator also 5 4s are 20 and 0 comes as it is. So the fraction will be what? 13 upon 40. You know that it is not further divisible because 13 is a prime number. Okay. So this will be the answer for the second part of the seventh question. Okay. Now let us move to the 8th question. 8th question, in the book you might have seen the numbers are given in random order. That means in the book it is given that the distance of 40 engineers from their residence to their place of work were found as it is. Means in the table it is given 5, 3, 10, 20, 25, 11, 13, 7, 12. Likewise data is given. You can see those distances are followed from their home to their workplaces. Okay. So you can see 40 engineers distances are given over there. Okay. So now what is your question? Question is, what is the empirical probability? Empirical means that numbers. Okay. Formula. The empirical probability that an engineer leaves. Okay. Leaves less than 7 km from her place of work. Means less than 7 km means up to 6 km. How many engineers are staying? Okay, that you have to find. Okay, the probability of engineers staying less than 7 km. So see the table from the book. how many engineers are having that 5 kilometer distance, 3 kilometer distance, 1 kilometer distance. Likewise, keep on counting. Okay, so when you count the number of engineers, you will see that 9 engineers leaves less than 7 kilometer from her work or place of work, or workplace also you can say. How many engineers stays less than 7 kilometer? Count all the numbers that is less than 7 in that book. Okay, like 5 kilometer, 3, 1, 0, 2, all these numbers are given less than 7. Count all those numbers. It is coming as 9. Okay, so number of engineers living less than 7 kilometer from her place of work equals to 9. Total number of engineers are 40. When you add all that 40 number, it is given in the question itself. The total number of engineers are 40. Okay, so now probability of an engineer leaves less than 7 kilometer is represented as P of E1. Okay, let P of E1 be the engineers staying less than 7 kilometer. Okay, so therefore P of E1 equals to number of engineers lives in less than 7 kilometer from workplace upon total number of engineers. So now we have seen how many engineers are staying less than 7 kilometer distance, that is 9. So 9 upon total number of engineers are 40. So 9 upon 40 will be the answer for the first part. Clear, children? Understood? Okay. Now come to the second part. Second part of question, what is given? More than or equals to 7. Means those who are staying more than 7. Like 8, 9, 10 kilometers, 11, 12, 13, 14 likewise kilometers distance from the workplace, and equals to 7. Means 7 is also included in that. Okay. So engineers staying equals to 7 and more than 7 will be how much? 31. Count that. Including 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Likewise, you see the book and the numbers you count. So it is coming as 31. Okay. So now probability of engineers leaves more than or equals to 7 kilometer equals to P of E2. Okay. E1 was less than 7 kilometer. Now E2 is what? Equals to and more than 7 kilometer. Now therefore P of E2 equals to number of engineers leaves more than or equals to 7 kilometer from workplace upon total number of engineers. Total number of engineers we know it is 40. And how many engineers are staying more than or equals to 7 kilometer? That is 31. So probability will be 31 upon 40. Understood, children? Now come to the third part of the same question. That is number of engineers living within half kilometer. Half kilometer means not even 100 meter or 500 meter. Okay. Okay, right? So half kilometer from place of work. See in that book, less than 1. How many engineers they leave? So when you count, you will see that when you see the table, you will see never it is, none of the numbers are written below 1. Below 1. That means the number of engineers who stays within half kilometer from workplace will be 0. Because there are no engineers who stays within half kilometer from the workplace. Okay. In the table, when you see no engineer stays below 1. Okay, 1 kilometer. That is why it is coming as 0. No engineers are staying less than half kilometer. Clear, children? Understood? So therefore, the probability of engineers living within half kilometer from workplace is P of E3. Because E1 we have taken as less than 7. P2 we have taken more than and equals to 7. And now P3 we are taking less than half kilometer. Okay, that is P of E3. Therefore, P of E3, that is probability of E3 equals to number of engineers living within half kilometer upon total number of engineers. So, how many engineers living within half kilometer? That is 0. So 0 upon total number of engineers are 40. So 0 upon 40 gives you 0 only. So the last one's or the third one's answer is 0. Clear, children? Like this, 11 bags of wheat flour, each marked 5 kg. Okay, each bag contains or marked 5 kg actually contain the following weights of flour. Okay, marked as 5 kg, but actual contents of that bag is given as follows. That is, in the first bag it is 4.97, then second bag it is 5.05, third bag 5.08, then fourth bag 5.03, then fifth 5, then sixth 5.06, seventh bag it is 5.08, and then again next bag it is 4.98, then next it is given as 5.04, then next one 5.07, and the last bag, that is the 11th bag, is containing 5 kg. It is printed over there, marked as. Okay, so actual contents are like this it is, and marked as 5 kg each. Okay, understood the question? Actually each bag is of 5 kg, but when the contents are actually measured, then it is found that some bags are having less than 5 kg and some are having little more than 5 kg. Understood? So that actual measurements are given here. Okay, clear? Question is clear to everyone? Now solution C. Find the probability. What is the question? Find the probability that any of these bags chosen at random contains more than 5 kg of flour. Means you have to see every bag and see how many bags are having more than 5 kg. So here you can see this particular one is more than 5 kg. This is more than 5. This is more than 5. This is more than 5. This is exactly 5. So we will not take this. Okay. This is more than 5. This is more than 5. And then this is more than 5 and this is more than 5. So how many bags are having more than 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Is it not? How many bags are having more than 5 kg of weight? That is 7 bags. So that is why here it is written total number of wheat flour bags are 11. It is given that in the first part of the question 11 bags are there. So total number of bags are 11. Now probability of bags containing more than, number of bags containing more than 5 kg of flour. How many bags? Just now we have counted. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7. So total 7 bags are having more than 5 kg weight. Clear? Now probability of bags containing more than 5 kg will be equals to P of even. Let it be P of even. So therefore P of even equals to number of bags containing more than 5 kg of wheat flour upon total number of bags. Okay. So here how many bags are having more than 5 kg weight? That is 7 upon total number of bags are 11. Okay. So 7 upon 11. Now you may think, children, question number 11 is given and before that 8 I have solved. Okay. 8, after that immediately we got 11th question. 9 and 10 is not there. So you can go through the book. 9th and 10th question are activity based questions. Okay. So that should be done in the school itself and it is activity based. So skip those 2 questions. Okay. Skip those 2 questions. Means no need to solve 9th and 10th question as it is activity based questions. Clear now? After that 11th question we have seen. Now for the 12th question also. 12th question is a very big question but solution is too small one. Okay. So that's why question you see in your book. What is the question? You can see question is the following frequency distribution table shows the concentration of sulfur dioxide, means SO2, sulfur dioxide in air in parts per millions of certain city for 30 days. So recording of 30 days are specified in the question. 30 days sulfur dioxide concentration in air is given in the question. Okay. Make a grouped frequency distribution table for this group or this data with class intervals as 0.00 to 0.04, means a gap of 0.04. Okay, class intervals, and then 0.04 to 0.08 and so on. So data is given. So using this table, find the probability of the concentration of sulfur dioxide in the interval 0.12 to 0.06 on any of these days. Okay, understood? The question is given. Now we will see the frequency distribution table. Question number 12. You can see the frequency table likewise, in which concentration of sulfur dioxide in air and number of days. That is between 0.00 to 0.04 is 4. Now how many days that concentration is there? That is 4 days. And 0.04 to 0.08, how many days? 9 days. Then 0.08 to 0.12, 9 days again. 0.12 to 0.16, it is 2 days. And 0.16 to 0.20, it is 4 days. And 0.20 to 0.24, it is 2. So this frequency table we have made. After that, you can see, according to the question, what is there? Total number of days is 30. So in that probability of days where concentration of sulfur dioxide lies between 0.16 to 0.20 is P of E1. Okay, let it be P of E1. Then therefore P of E1 equals to number of days in which concentration of sulfur dioxide in the air is between 0.16 to 0.20 upon total number of days. So here how many days we have? The concentration lies between 12 to 16, that is 2. So we can write 2 upon total number of days is 30. So 2 upon 30 on cancelling. You know that it is divisible by 2. So 2 ones are 2 and 2 ones are 2 and 10, 2 fives are 10. So 1 upon 15. So answer will be 1 upon 15. Okay, clear children, understood? Now let us see the last question of this one. That is, question goes like this. The following data shows the frequency distribution table regarding the blood groups of 30 students of class 8. Okay, in this table you can see blood group and number of students. A blood group, how many children are there? Students are there? 9. B blood group, 6. O blood group, 12. AB blood group, 3. So total number of students are how many? When you add all these numbers, you will get 30. Okay, so total number of students are 30. Clear? Use this table to determine the probability that a student of this class is selected at random has blood group AB. So AB blood group, how many students are there? 3. Clear? So probability easily you can find out. So let E be the number of students having blood group AB. That is equals to how many students are having blood group AB? That is 3, you can see. So 3. Okay. Now total number of students are 30. You can see the total number of students are 30. Now probability of a student has blood group AB, I can write as P of E. Okay. That means probability of E, which shows the number blood group of the student, will be AB. So now P of E equals to number of students have blood group AB upon total number of students. Okay, that is equals to how many students have blood group AB? That is 3. So upon total number of students are 30. So 3 upon 30. You know that it is divisible by 3 table. 3 ones are 3 and 3 tens are 30. So the answer probability of E will be equals to what? 1 upon 10. So that will be the answer. Now here 2 questions I am giving you as homework. See these questions and solve in your mathematics fair copy only. Means after the exercise you solve these 2 questions also as homework. The question goes like this. In an organization, a manager through his observation in an organization, a manager through his observation discovers that 43 staff members out of 65. Out of 65 means total number of staff members will be what? 65. Out of 65, 43 members are honest. So how many are dishonest? What will you do? 65 minus 43. Okay, so dishonest staff members you will come to know. Then, while the remaining are dishonest, find the probability that a member chosen at random is first one honest. So, honest probability will be what? Number of staff members, those who are honest upon total number of staff. Okay, and same way dishonest will be the number of staff members, those who are dishonest upon total number of staff. Likewise, for these two, you find the probability. Okay. Now, second part of the question. Second question is 3 coins are tossed simultaneously 200 times. So, number of times will be what? 200 times with the following frequencies of different outcomes. You can see number of tails how many times? 0 tails means what? All the 3 attempts were head only. Okay. 1 tail means 1 tail and 2 heads. And 2 heads means 2 tails means 1 head. And here 3 tails means no heads at all. So how many times it appeared? 0 tails means all the 3 are heads, that is 35 times. And 2 heads and 1 tail, how many times? 45. And 2 tails and 1 head is 42. And all the 3 heads were 78. Because 3 tails means no head. So no heads means how many times? 78. Now compute the probability of getting first at least 2 heads. At least 2 heads means it will be including as 2 heads and 3 heads. Right? At least 2 means minimum 2 heads. And maximum 3 times it is tossed means 3 heads. So at least 2 heads and 3 heads will be added up. But we have written in the table only about the tails, no heads. That means if I take 0 tails. 0 tails means all the 3 will be heads only. So this point and 1 tail means 2 heads. So minimum 2 heads and 3 heads will be added up. So 35 plus 45 and upon total number of how many times the coins are tossed. That is 200. Okay, this plus this upon 200, first one. And all heads. All head means all the 3 attempts head means 0 tails. So 0 tails means what? 35. So 35 upon 200. Then find the probability. Clear, children? So these 2 questions, solve it as homework.